Welcome to Fire Engineering's Training Minutes. I'm your host today, David Rhodes, and we're here at the Guardian Center's steel collapse structure. I'm joined by my friend Jamey Brads with Spec Rescue and instructor here at the Guardian Center. Jamey, we're going to talk a little bit today about torch operations and metal cutting.
Yes, sir.
We've got a severely crushed victim here that has been caught in the collapse, and we've got to recover this guy to get him out. So what are our options?
Well, one of our options would be obviously is to try to start clearing the debris and lift it away if possible, but due to the length of these beams and the reach possibly of the equipment that we have, we need to make the steel into smaller, more manageable sections for either personnel on the pile or for a crane or a lull or something like that to be able to reach in here to the pile to get the victim out from under it.
So the idea would be to shorten the length of steel and either lift it with some airbags, a crane, pry bars, or maybe we can get it small enough to where we can lift it off by hand.
Yes, sir. What we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to cut this beam so it's manageable by 2 or 3 people. The problem with that is we're going to be cutting in fairly close proximity to a victim, so we have to watch our heat transfer. We may want to use a hand line or a water can to cool the steel close towards the person to keep the heat transfer down as much as possible. We also have to understand that the structure is compromised and the pile is the pile. So we need to crib around our victim so that anything that we cut loose doesn't move down any further onto the victim. So we're going to crib up the pile a little bit around the victim, and then we're going to try to make the cut just to free the piece off that's holding him down.
All right, and what tool are we going to use today?
Well, we have lots of choices. Today we're going to use a petrogen torch. Petrogen is an oxy-gasoline torch, pretty prevalent in the USAR community because it uses liquid gasoline and oxygen. Some folks think it's a finicky torch, and sometimes it is, depending on the grade of gasoline that you have or if the gasoline's been setting in it for a period of time. But when it's working well, it is a very good cutting torch. We also have access to propane, oxypropane torch, oxyacetylene torches, exothermic torches, and rotary saws of all sorts, shapes and sizes, grinders, sawzalls. We could cut this steel with a lot of different options. Probably our fastest option though is probably a torch of some sort.
All right, let's get to work.
Okay. Firing up the petrogen torch is a little different than a normal torch. You have to crack your oxygen, then you purge with your depress lever for about 5 seconds. Then you crack your fuel valve until you get a mist of gasoline coming out of the tip. Then you strike it. Then you start adjusting accordingly based on how much you're going to cut. You want to look at your cones and they want to be the right direction. Now you always have to watch the proximity to your victim so you're not overheating the steel. But you have to heat this tip up so that it burns properly. So you're actually going to be in physical contact with the steel until the tip heats up. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to continue a cut, but I won't be able to get all the way through the flange, so I have to cut a window, a small window, so that I can reach through to get the flange. So now that I can reach through, I'm going to reach in here, try to get to the edge, as close to the edge as I can. Now, what I'm looking for is movement in the steel. Now that I'm getting very close to the end of this cut, I'm looking for movement.
All right, Jamie, I'm gonna give it a whirl. It's been a few years, but you can coach me through it. Tell me a little bit about the PPE we got. It's a little different than what we had before.
Yes, sir. We want to wear a gauntlet-style glove that covers up over our sleeve so that we don't get any hot embers down inside the glove. And these are welding type or burning gloves. We're both wearing a petrogen outer garment, so it has flash protection. So this is suitable for upper body and lower body protection. But very important is our eyewear. We've switched from the ANSI approved safety glasses to an ANSI approved filter safety glass. And basically what it is a filter lens with a number 5 or a number 6 lens in it. Same thing you see in the goggles that you put on your head that come with the a welding kit or a cutting kit.
All right, so if you didn't have this gear on, you would need a burner's jacket or something.
Yeah, a burner's jacket, some burning gloves, and definitely goggles or a helmet of some sort.
All right, well, let's fire it up and you can get me going.
Okay.
So let's walk through the steps again.
Okay, first things first, you're gonna crack the oxygen about half a turn. All right, now you're gonna purge. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and crack the valve until, keep it at an angle so that you can see the valve coming out. Hold up. All right, back off on the fuel a little bit. Add some oxygen. All right, what you're trying to do is get your cones all right. You got to heat it up by moving it around on the work. All right, hold it up. Let's see what it looks like. I probably need a little bit more fuel. All right, and then a little bit more oxygen maybe. All right, it's right there. Let's see what you got. Hold it up. Hit your deep press. Looks pretty good.
All right.
So now what you're going to do is you're going to hold that on the steel, right at the edge. Hold it off a little bit further. Now once it starts to molt, depress. All right, go ahead and angle your torch down a little bit. There you go. You got it. Once you get to the web there, you're going to have to slow down a little bit because you're heating up a lot more steel. Keep going down a little bit. Okay, good. Now you can go to your web to the inside.
All right, we want to come back toward us or start?
You can. If you could push it though, what you're going to do is have the steel rotate down. Okay, hit it. Nice and steady. Going a little bit slow. Slow down. Okay, to work the flange, you're going to have to cut you out a square.
Okay.
All right, so work from, there you go, from the middle up. Work over towards, away from the victim. Big. Keep working. Watch your puddling. All right, hold on, don't get that tip down in there.
Okay.
A lot of times folks will try to run it like a lightsaber. You got to get your hand out here a little closer to the edge so that you can control what you're doing a little bit better.
Gotcha.
All right? So it is a little hotter, but you've got to stay out there closer to the edge.
Makes it a little steadier on the end. Got it.
But you did pretty good. You was almost through it. So now what you got to do is reach in. I got your line.
All right.
Make sure you heat it before you. There you go. Don't cut it all the way, real quick. All right, hit it. Get to within an inch or so, so you're going to see if it drops. Slow down. All right, go back and check and see everything else. All right, you're through.
Okay.
Everything's hanging up. All right, keep heating that. Don't depress, just heat.
So we're heating this up to see if we get any movement in the steel.
The steel will bend as opposed to just cutting it off and it falling away, causing more damage to the victim. All right, let's go ahead and try to cut from the top down, nice and steady. Okay, stop.
We saw a little bit of movement there, but we're good. The cribbing caught it.
Go ahead. Very nice. Cribbing held. The piece fell away. Very good.
All right, we've got our crew in place. We're going to lift up the steel off the victim and get it out of the way. Then we're going to turn it over to our rescue guys. We got a lot of debris here that's got to be walked over, so we're just going to put the victim in a Stokes basket for easy carrying over this entire pile. All right, and these guys will get them out to the street. All right, Jamie, so we just covered the operations of the petrogen torch to remove a victim from a steel collapse. The victim was severely crushed, and I wanted to give it a shot just to show. It's been about 10 years since I had a torch in my hand, so it shows I was able to make it through, but wasn't nearly as efficient as I would have been if I'd have been doing this all the time. So it's important to keep those skills
Very important. It's a perishable skill, just
Absolutely.
like anything else in the tech rescue realm, very perishable skills. So get out there and practice. Just get a old scrap piece of steel and practice with whatever it is that your jurisdiction.
Something you can do right at the firehouse.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm David Rhodes. Thank you for joining us for Fire Engineering's Training Minutes, and thank you to our sponsor for this episode, TechGen.